And this budget, Madam Deputy Speaker, has been a car crash. The third car crash that this Chancellor has presided over. The first was at the budget last year, which was so damaging to business confidence and to jobs and to the farmers who provide the food for this great nation. And then the second car crash, Madam Deputy Speaker, was in the run-up to this budget, with so many leaks, the hokey-cokey budget in, out, shake it all about, which was again damaging to business confidence. And then the third car crash, I fear, has written off the engine of the British economy, Madam Deputy Speaker, because once again, all of the data, all of the incentives are bad. Let's just look at the simple data, shall we? Growth, down. It is flatlining over the last quarter. And the OBR numbers here show that over the next 4 years, the growth forecasts have all been reduced. Jobs down by almost 200,000 people since the last budget. And speaking to recruitment agents earlier this week from up and down the country, they tell me that essentially businesses have stopped hiring, particularly and most damagingly for young workers. And I fear this budget will do even worse for that. And then we look at the other data. Taxes up, Madam Deputy Speaker, over the next few years to the highest since the Second World War. And this Chancellor has achieved the extraordinary achievement, the unbelievable feat, after just 2 budgets, of being the second highest tax-raising Chancellor ever, raising taxes in just 2 budgets by some £70 billion. The welfare numbers. Over the next few years, welfare spending will increase in the next 5 years by £70 billion per annum, Madam Deputy Speaker. That shows that this is not a budget for workers, this is a budget for those on welfare. It reduces the incentive to work. It reduces the incentive to be an entrepreneur, to be a small business owner. And the truth is, Madam Deputy Speaker, if we carry on going this way, that nothing will be affordable, because this Chancellor is heading us towards bankruptcy as a nation. And the reality is nothing becomes affordable if we go bust under the ministers and the Chancellor's mismanagement of this economy, Madam Deputy Speaker. So we need to change course, because all of this data is bad. And the borrowing, Madam Deputy Speaker, you can't believe the borrowing numbers. The OBR is forecasting that borrowing just in this year alone will be some 21 billion higher. The minister clearly doesn't know the facts of the budget that he is presiding as part of, because the OBR, the numbers that are here, Minister, show that it'll be 21 billion more than the OBR forecast just back in March. And that means, and over the next 4 years, the borrowing will increase by over £60 billion. For the minister's help, mathematically, that's up, Minister. So all of the data, all of the numbers, Madam Deputy Speaker, is going in the wrong direction. It didn't need to be this way. The government could have followed our fine reform recommendations. The Chancellor could have said to the Governor of the Bank of England, stop paying voluntary interest on the quantitative easing voluntary reserves. She didn't need to do that. She could have also said we should stop quantitative tightening, which is why we've got the highest QE programme in the Western world. Those are the changes. She could have said, actually, that we should reduce the foreign aid budget. She could have said that we should stop paying welfare to overseas nationals in order to protect British citizens. But she failed to make these choices, and that's why, Madam Deputy Speaker, we have had to increase taxes to these highest levels. And therefore, Madam Deputy Speaker, it is time for change, because what this budget does, it disincentivises work, it disincentivises risk-taking, and some of the finest and brightest of our nation are seriously considering leaving the country. There is, however, to conclude, Madam Deputy Speaker, some good news. The good news is that this is the last budget that this Chancellor has given. Why? Because she's proven herself to be a learned driver with her multiple car crashes. It is probably also, based on the Parliamentary Labour Party's antics, the last budget that the Prime Minister will preside over. And the final good news, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that after the next general election, reform will redesign, re-engineer this economy to make work pay, to make risk-taking pay, and to get our economy growing again. I thank you.